We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She's a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to a special Rope Drop Radio. Derek here in the studio, and yet, Doug, you are all the way across the U.S. You are in Florida right now, experiencing everything Walt Disney World, Lightning Lane, and Genie. How are you doing, Doug?
Doing good. Sitting here in French Quarter, which recently opened, enjoying that. But we're not going to talk about our trip really that much, other than Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, and individual attraction selections, Lightning Lanes. It's a long name. I screw up every time.
It is, and you are not alone. With you, of course, is from Touring Plans, your better half, Michelle McKnight, the Rope Drop Queen. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. I'm keeping Doug in line. He really has no idea what he's doing.
No,
so
I don't.
That's why I'm here.
Every
That's
time
scary.
I open the app, I say something stupid.
What?
Every time I open it, I look at it and I say like, "Oh, we have this," and you're like, "No, you need to click there, there," and then you're like, Yeah. It's a good thing she's here.
So the fact that it says 4+ on the app might be a little off.
A little bit. It's 40 plus might be even a stretch.
It might need a IQ test instead of an age.
Okay. Well, and also, is it smart enough to know that you needed to record a episode for Rope Drop Radio to tell you to go to your room?
No.
Well,
no,
then this, I don't even know. Okay. Well, we need to dive more into it. Yes. So tell me, guys, what is Genie Plus?
Well, let's just start with what is Genie.
There you go.
Because Disney Genie is the free little bit that you get. And what Genie does, you can have it create your day, right? And it can give you a whole list of attractions in an order, tells you what restaurant to go to, all that stuff. That's Genie in a nutshell. And you can tell it what your preferences are, and it seems to sometimes care and sometimes not. But that's the free thing that you get. Disney Genie. It's inside the My Disney Experience app. Everybody has it. Update your app. What else, Michelle? What did I forget from just Genie?
Well, it tries to steer you ways that there's no crowds. So if you select like your top 4 things, it doesn't guarantee you're actually it's going to tell you to do those 4 things, because it's not. It may get you one of them. It may get you none of them, depending on crowds that day. It's not, basically you're selecting 4 things to 8 things that you really want to do, but it doesn't really care.
No.
It may take you to Swiss Family Robinson.
It wanted
us
to rope drop the carousel.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Good of rope drop.
Because we had an interest of princesses.
Yes. What did we? But like, we were there for the early morning entry, and so like it didn't factor in that extra half hour either.
It doesn't account for that, so it doesn't technically know, I guess, if you're a hotel guest or not.
But it should.
That should. I didn't know that. Okay.
It told us to start our day at 9, when really the park was opening at 8:30 for early entry,
which is a huge plus.
Yeah. So I wish it would put something in there about that, so guests would know what's open.
Because
that would be a good.
I could see a lot of people actually following this plan that's laid out there. Like, oh, let's go do this.
Yeah.
So now it's very similar to what Touring Plans does with their optimized touring plan.
In the Lines app.
Which you get, it does have a subscription cost, but you get it for free if you book with Michelle or a Touring Plans travel agent. So can be just as free as Genie, and it is a little more accurate. It keeps you going. There's some big gaps in the day
for Genie.
And it's like, all right, what am I going to do for the next 2 hours? Nothing. It doesn't even tell me to go shop. That's what surprised me. I thought it would be like, go check out the Emporium.
Or have a snack.
So Dole Whip is located to your left. It doesn't do that. So that's probably going to come. That's going to be like Genie.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's coming. They just need more time to tell me to shop and tell me to eat Dole Whips and churros. So, but that's the free stuff. That's not the most important thing. That you can pretty much ignore. Genie Plus time.
Okay.
What is it? I'm going to let you handle this.
No, I'd rather hear what you have to
Oh
say, and then I'll just
dear,
correct
she's
you.
just, this is like when we had Alden do listener questions. All right, so Genie Plus is the service you pay for. It's about $16 a day. It's what, 15 plus tax
Per person.
per day. It's essentially what's replacing the regular Fast Pass. You have to have it to get lightning lanes. That's the new name of the Fast Pass. It doesn't get you all the attractions. You still have to make them like we were making Fast Pass Plus. However, there's 2 attractions, which we'll get to later, in each park that are not part of Genie Plus. It starts at 7 a.m. Now, what did I say wrong?
There's still some attractions that aren't included, and you can't buy them either. So, like People Mover,
The carousel.
things like that.
Just like Fast Pass Plus, really.
Yes, they just have one line, so not a big deal.
There's people that have been saying, it needs to get me on everything. Well, for $16, it's not going to get you on everything. Now, it is definitely valuable to have. We've used quite a few lightning lanes so far in our 2 days of using it.
Genie Plus, like Doug said, you can start at 7 a.m. That's for guests on property and off. I wish there was more of an on property, perk there, but there's not as of right now. Hopefully that starts later. And then you can make your next lightning lane attraction actually 2 hours after the park opens. So like today, that was at 9 a.m. for Magic Kingdom. That's where we were at. So that we couldn't make our next lightning lane until 11. However, there's another catch. If you make your first lightning lane, like at 9, 9:15, 9:30, then you can make your next lightning lane after that. So the rule is either 2 hours after park open or right after you have completed your ride or
tapped in. You, every time we've used it, we've had to tap twice. So back in the beginning of Fast Pass Plus, you always had to tap twice. Now you tap it when you go in, you tap again right at the merge point, and after you tap the second time is when you can make your next lightning lane. You cannot make it between taps, we have learned.
Yeah, we tried that.
So we've tried that multiple times.
That's a good tip. I wouldn't know. So this is kind of similar to when after you have your 3 Fast Passes and you're trying to get that 4th, 5th, and you got to wait till the next one.
Exactly, except you're doing it after lightning lane number 1.
Yep.
So and you can start just going from attraction to attraction to attraction. So the next topic after Genie Plus, I think that's everything Genie Plus, nuts and bolts wise, right? We'll get into how we used it more. But the next topic is just lightning lane as a general term. We can't just say, oh, I bought lightning lane, because there's lightning lanes that are not part of Genie Plus, and so lightning lane is simply where you tap in the path you go to get to the attraction. It's not Genie Plus, and it's not the individual lightning lane attraction. So lightning lane, you don't buy lightning lane for everything, just to clarify. That's just what the signage says, where you tap to go in. So the next thing, did I need to add anything else for lightning lane? I just wanted to clarify. So the next thing is the individual lightning lane attraction that you can purchase. So this, as an extra wrinkle, do you want me to say this again so I can say incorrect information?
Thanks.
Oh, you want this to be correct the first go round.
So you can buy this separate from Genie Plus, or you can buy it with Genie Plus. It really makes no difference. There's 2 rides in every park that you can buy for this individual lightning lane selection. In Magic Kingdom, it is 7 Dwarfs and Space Mountain. In Animal Kingdom, it is Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest. In Epcot, it's Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen. And then at Hollywood Studios, it's Rise of the Resistance and
Runaway
Railway. Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. Yeah. So like I said, 2 in each park. These are an additional cost. These costs vary depending on the date, the crowd level, things like that. So for example, we purchased Flight of Passage the other day. It was $14.
Per person.
Per
person. There you go.
Yep. And then we purchased Rise of Resistance. It was $15.
That's the most expensive one, I think, every day, any day.
Yeah.
Right now. Rise of
And from what I'm seeing and hearing, like that's the one that's been selling out, I guess would be the words.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And when we use that, I know we're going to get into using it more later, but I mean, it was a 280-minute wait. So how much is your $15 worth time-wise?
I'm still shocked that that one's only $15, in my opinion. That
Give it-
will go up.
Yeah.
I know. I'll be there when this episode comes out, so hopefully, yeah, we can get through that.
Yeah, hopefully you don't regret that statement. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts, the different categories.
Now, following back, so with the Lightning Lane, can you said there's some attractions you can't get. Would that fall into Rise of Resistance? Do they make you buy it then? Or can you get a Lightning Lane? Or
No,
is
that's
it just
the
wait?
ones that you can buy
Yep.
separately.
Okay.
Genie Plus includes a whole lot of them, except for two in each park.
Yep, just clarifying.
Right.
There's other rides that it doesn't include.
So what she was saying
but
is
that's
like
just
the ones that didn't have Fast Pass.
didn't need them originally.
Like
Yeah.
People Mover.
You can't pay.
Yeah, you can't buy your way on the People Mover.
There you
all
go.
the-
I think that's a good thing to clarify.
All right.
And the individual Lightning Lane selections can be made at 7 a.m. for on-property guests or 9 a.m. for off-property guests. You can, or not 9 a.m. Whatever the park time opening is.
So 11 for Epcot.
Yeah. You can. So if you're going to park hop, you can actually make an individual Lightning Lane attraction selection for that right away at 7 a.m. So you can book both of your. You get 2 per day. You can't go over that.
It's just crazy they don't want you to buy 6 or 8.
That just blows my mind. When you told me that, Doug, I didn't actually believe you. So I'm glad Michelle is confirming.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can, when we tested it out, we did Rise of Resistance and Flight of Passage, and you cannot get a third. But you can make them
no, like, show me your money. Come on now.
Yeah.
Right. What does Bob think he's doing? He's passing on that. But that's one real good benefit. If you have a park hopper, it really can be helpful. Because we rope dropped Mickey and Minnie's, and then we used our individual attraction Lightning Lane for Rise. And then when we hopped to Animal Kingdom, we were able to use that individual attraction for Flight of Passage, saving another 200 minutes, something like that. It was that was because it went down earlier, so that wait was inflated because of the downtime for Rise. But so we saved like 4 hours in line by
spending money.
Through.
Yeah. I mean, we only technically had 2.5 days here this trip.
So
time is
money. I mean, we don't have much time. If we were here for a week and a half, maybe different. But we'll get to is it worth it?
One other thing is you can stack these. Genie plus the Genie system, My Disney Experience, doesn't care if you already have things booked at a certain time. So, like, technically, I could have made Rise of the Resistance at the same time as Slinky Dog, and then later on grabbed another Lightning Lane from my Genie Plus to go at the exact same time. So they do not care.
Doesn't eat up that hour window like Fast Pass did. How you
makes sense. Okay.
The individual attractions run a little more independent from the other Lightning Lanes. But with Lightning Lanes, you can only hold the one until it's time to make it again, and then those can't stack over the top of each other, correct?
They can stack.
Oh, they can stack too. See, This is why she's in charge.
They can stack, and like I said, it doesn't notice. I mean, it says you have conflicting plans at this time, but it actually lets you make it unlike a dining reservation. But if you can't make it to those attractions, then you're going to be in trouble. So you got to make sure that they're logistically capable.
Yes. Let's go back to how is using Genie Plus when you first purchased it in the morning and then making your first Genie Plus attractions. How was that, Michelle? Because I was asleep.
So we have annual passes. So I have to purchase this the Genie Plus every day. You can purchase it after midnight, or you can purchase it right before the 7 a.m. time slot that things open up. I chose to purchase it at like 6:30 because I don't want to stay up past midnight and then have to get up that early. I think most people will be the same way. If you have a package booked with tickets, you can add it to your whole package if you want to do that. If you choose not to want it on certain days and not to go for your whole length of stay, you will have to add it every morning.
Day. Okay. Yep. So that's what we're going to have to do when we're there.
Yes.
Yes, because you have annual passes.
Yeah. So like I said, I purchased it at 6:30. I went ahead and set my selections in Genie. That's the free service. at like 6:30 for the day for the park I was going to. It does recognize your park passes, so you do have to pick things in that park to start with. And then at 7, I was in the tip board. So there's another word.
Yeah,
for you.
there's the My Day, My Genie Day, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the tip board. You gotta go to the tip board to actually book your lightning lanes.
When you're in the My Disney Experience account, there's a little hamburger, the
3
stacking
lines.
lines.
She calls it a hamburger.
Most
I call it
people
3
call it a
lines.
hamburger.
It's not a hamburger. There's no pickles.
I call it the 3 lines, so there we go. But I know what you meant.
There's the bottom right-hand corner. And then, so if you hit that, then you'll get, at the very top of your screen, you're going to get tip board and you're going to get My Disney Day. My Genie Day. I think it should be My Disney Day.
It should be.
But on the tip board, if you click it, then it's going to show you what rides are, at 7 a.m., it's going to show you what rides are available for Lightning Lane and then what time is the return time.
So like right now, she just opened it and it is 1:48 in the afternoon. And it's letting us know that Big Thunder Mountain is 45 minutes of standby, but we could get a Lightning Lane
Genie Plus
because we have Genie Plus for 4:20 right now. So that's when the next one's available.
So my strategy was going to be, get a slink. The first day was going to be a Slinky Dog at 9 a.m. because that's when the park opened. So immediately I saw 9:15. Great, perfect. Clicked on it. And then the next screen, if you don't notice it, you're in trouble, but it jumps to the next time available. So between like those seconds of me clicking 9:15, then it said 11. So, and then if you go back and be like, oh no, I didn't want that one, you can't pick another time. You can only pick what's available. So that's where it's different from the Fast Pass Plus system.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
No. So that's for the Genie Plus Lightning Lanes. So like if you go backwards and I was like, oh no, then I clicked back and it was 11 o'clock. Okay, well, I better grab that now quick, right? Well, then 11 became like 11:40, I think is what we actually got. I was like, great, I'm just going to confirm it really quick. But that also meant I couldn't make my next Genie Plus Lightning Lane until after 11.
Yeah.
Not after we tap, after 11.
The 2 hours, yep.
Yeah. So that's how the morning goes. And then I also made my individual Lightning Lane attraction at that time. And I got Rise of the Resistance. And that I knew I didn't want at 9 because you cannot cancel an individual Lightning Lane selection and get anything back. So if you can't make the time that you signed up for, you cannot get it back. The difference with the choosing the time system, though, with an individual one, is that you do pick the time or the time range, and you will actually get that, unlike the Genie Plus Lightning Lane. Does that make sense?
No.
Kind of. Not really.
Clear as mud.
No, not really. But I do like that you can pick the time. Like, so we wanted to hop to Animal Kingdom. We could pick 4, 5, 6, and then it would give us like 5:20, something like that.
Well, I do like how you can cross, the hopping thing, that sounds wonderful. And I'm glad that way you can get a couple e-tickets in at each park.
Because when we hopped, we had that one we paid for at Flight of Passage, and we also had a safari that you had made. Once you were done with Slinky Dog, you made that safari. So that worked out really well. And then today at Magic Kingdom, we've made quite a few already just through the morning. And when we go back after recording this, we have a Jungle Cruise waiting for us.
There you go. Good. I'm glad you're getting that attraction in, though, Doug.
Well, it's Jingle Cruise right now, so that's even
better. Yeah, and that's been a hard one to get. So that actually, I'm going to follow up with a question I have because that actually will be a good transition. How is Lightning Lane changing the overall wait times for the standby? Are you seeing a big difference?
You can definitely see a difference.
Not the no Fast Pass era.
Yeah.
Like, we got used to the lines just moving slowly. But yeah.
And there's probably no more social distancing, so.
No. Oh, yesterday we also, after Animal Kingdom, we went and used 2 Lightning Lanes at Epcot. We used a Test Track and a Soarin'. So we got 3 different parks where we used our Genie Plus Lightning Lanes very effectively. So we worked it pretty well yesterday throughout the whole day. And then we even ended up back at Hollywood Studios. We didn't need one, but we could have. Yeah.
So anyone who's been to the parks like during the pandemic, you you really, and now you visit again for the first time again.
Standby's different.
Standby's different. So if you see like Seven Dwarfs wasn't outside of the queue, you're like, oh, let's enter. But the Lightning Lane
Priority.
entrance too goes all the way back to almost
it was long.
Almost Gaston's.
Yeah, the Lightning Lane entrance was stretching 50 people deep. I would say 1/4 of the people in the Lightning Lane entrance were in the wrong spot, did not have it correctly, were there at the wrong time. So that slows that line down because they have to haggle with the people. There's no haggling. I think we saw one person haggle and get in successfully. That was at the Safari. They were 30 minutes late, and like we were at the conservation station, and we waited 30 minutes for a train to get back. We were unaware what that was, like, which I totally get it, because first time I ever went there, I was like, wait, we're stuck here? What?
Yeah.
So that might be like the exception.
There's a tiny bit of wiggle room, just like the Fast Pass
like
was.
5 minutes
I mean,
to
it's
15
always
minutes.
subject to the cast member, though, working.
Do not count on it.
No. We got in 5 minutes early most of the time, and Touring Plans has tested it as well. They don't have, the cast member doesn't actually have to like buzz you in or anything. Your thing actually lights up. When you tap
lights
your
up
Magic
green
Band or
5
your
minutes
key card
early.
or your phone.
But after the window, it does not. It lights up blue, and then you have to hope.
Yeah.
Don't be late.
Don't be late.
All right, another question. I was going to say 7 a.m., you get the choice between your Lightning Lanes or Ratatouille right now, Michelle. What's the strategy there?
Ratatouille's virtual queue has not been filling up like right away like Fry's was. I think it's because a lot of people don't go to Epcot. So I think it's worth taking the chance about not trying the virtual queue first. I would go ahead and do your Genie Plus and your individual selections of your Lightning Lanes.
You can also buy your way onto Ratatouille.
Yeah, if worst comes to worst. Plus, there's that 1 o'clock time too. You can try again.
Yeah, and with the Ratatouille boarding groups, most days you're waiting 50 to 60 minutes to get on after your boarding group's called. So it's not like the good old days of Rise where your boarding group's called and it's almost like a fast pass. It is, you're allowed to get in a line that could be an hour long. When we did it, though, it was pouring rain, sideways, and cold. We waited maybe 20 minutes, but Epcot was empty.
But the Genie Plus individual selection, you can go basically right on in. So you're not waiting.
Yeah, they're getting priority.
Yeah.
Well, if you're spending money, then I would hope you're getting priority. I was going to follow up with that.
They stop that line and Lightning Lane goes probably at a higher rate than Fast Pass ever did.
Which is good.
You're paying for it.
You're paying for it, absolutely. If I'm going to pay for something, I definitely want to get on that attraction for sure.
And they're doing a great job of that. There hasn't been one time we've redeemed a Lightning Lane and I've thought, hey, now we paid for this, right? Like I think every time we've walked up and been treated really quick. And
you may see a line like today, Seven Dwarfs, but
the line to get in, there was a line to get in Peter Pan, and it was like half the people were just in the wrong place. Yeah. Which that happened with Fast Pass.
Oh yeah.
Like there'd be that one family.
There's still someone at the park today looking for a paper Fast Pass, Doug. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely.
Yep.
Those were the days.
They were. R.I.P. So another question. You are just a couple right now, so it is a little bit cheaper. Let's move into if you're a bigger family, maybe say a family of 5 when it comes to cost and value. Where are you guys thinking in putting this?
We're getting into the is it worth it category.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Imagine going pre-pandemic during the Fast Pass era, right? Say everybody else had Fast Passes, just like Fast Pass Plus, like normal, and you did not. And there was a way that you could, for $16 per person, have that same ability. Then do you see the value? Like the Lightning Lanes, there's a lot of people using them. So if you're going to stand by all day, every day, with a family, that compounds the whininess. I think the value of it with children is actually pretty good, because I don't want to stand in line with my kids. I mean, who does?
Yeah.
It is sad but true. It is now, think of it as part of the cost of admission the Genie Plus. The individual attractions is a different story.
Yeah, because
that comes down to how important those are.
And you could technically rope drop one, right?
Yep.
And then
that's my follow-up question.
That's what we did. We rope dropped Mickey and Minnie's, and we paid.
But that one doesn't really count because it shouldn't be
that one.
It shouldn't be an.
It should be
Slinky.
Slinky.
Slinky Dog, and I worry they're going to fix that.
Well, I think they did that so that they had something that people could buy that didn't have a height requirement.
Yeah, that too.
Because most of the ones you pay for have height requirements, like Everest, Flight of Passage, Space Mountain, Mine Train.
Yeah. Not at Epcot.
No, not at Epcot. Epcot's the most family-friendly, give us your money park.
It's not.
But it's the least family-friendly park.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a value there, especially if you're hopping, where you could do a day where you try to get, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot in one day. Even on a longer trip, maybe you do Hollywood Studios one day without Genie and one day with it, too. But the stacking, doing Hollywood Studios in the morning, Animal Kingdom in the late afternoon, early evening worked really well with Lightning Lane for safari and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. My thought is if you have a hopper, it's a no-brainer. You do it every day of your trip. Touring Plans did research, and they really don't think it's worth it to add it for Animal Kingdom or Epcot.
I saw that safari line.
Right. My issue with it is that there's obviously a learning curve to Genie Plus. I mean, we've been using it for 3 days. Obviously, we're not an expert. Touring Plans tests everything in the park, almost every day. So if you want, real data and stuff, definitely go to Touring Plans. But we use some of their strategies. But it's definitely a learning curve once you're in the app because, Doug still is having issues.
Well, part of that is I'm scared I'm going to screw up what she's done.
It's harder to cancel things than you think.
For the record, I've never seen Doug make a fast pass. I did all those for him as well.
I never made a 4th fast pass in my life. I've just been taken care of. What can I say? I live a blessed life.
He had to order lunch today. That was that's a whole different episode.
No, I had to go in and order from a
That sounds like Patreon stuff. I know you guys are going to record some Patreon material while you're down there. So there you go. Let's talk early access. Michelle, who gets it right now? What is that like and how important is it? And also strategizing with Lightning Lane and FastPass or Genie.
Yeah. So all on-property guests get it. All Disney Resort guests get it. As well as some select Good Neighbor resorts, and then like the Swan and Dolphin, those kind of things. So some outsiders. I mainly deal with
outsiders.
I mainly deal with Disney resorts, though, on property. It's really important. We got on a bus about an hour before early entry started.
Even though it said the bus wasn't going to be there for a half hour on the little screen.
So early entry at Magic Kingdom started at 8:30 today, and we were on a bus moving by 7:30.
So don't believe the little signs at the bus stops that says the first bus is coming at 8:20.
So we got to Magic Kingdom like in 15 minutes. So 7:45. The lines were insane.
There's a ton of people waiting at the tap styles, but that really wasn't that big a deal.
It didn't matter.
I think half of them were off-property people that were just there to line up for 9 a.m. already because they're smart for off-property.
So every park is going to be different, but Magic Kingdom lets you in right about a half an hour before early entry starts. They let you walk down the Main Street USA, get your Starbucks, and then go to either Tomorrowland or the Fantasyland Bridge and then stand for 30 minutes.
And they did not open that a second early.
8:30 on the dot. That was my next question. So,
I think that's been everywhere.
Every day is a little bit different because back in October when we were there for the 50th, they opened it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but that was also a weird day.
No, it wasn't the actual 30th. It was the day after.
Oh,
or 50th. Sorry,
50th.
I don't know why I said 30th.
Well, it was, like 30 years ago.
It seems like ages ago. But no, it's going to be important because you're going to be able to knock out 1 to 2 attractions before the off-property guests come in. So a strategy might be to, hit something in Tomorrowland or Fantasyland and then be ready to hit Frontierland. But, get in that line before the off-property guests do.
So like today, she'd already bought in Space Mountain. So she didn't need to rope drop that, which looked like it was a good thing because it didn't look like it was running right away. Sometimes Space Mountain, Rise of the Resistance, probably the 2 most notorious for not being quite ready to open for the day. So rope dropping those are both sketchy. So we rope drop Buzz. I got my Galactic Hero. We don't need to. I'm not saying to rope drop Buzz.
I've done it many times. You got to start the day with a sticker.
I got my sticker, and then we were gonna do Winnie the Pooh, but it was down for quite a few hours. But then we did the princesses.
Yeah, the
at
princesses
9.
just started a week or two
So
ago.
they're right back. So we went and did Rapunzel and Tiana.
This is at Fairy Tale Princess Hall.
And that was right at 9. So right as we beat the park guests coming in, the off-property, because they hadn't physically gotten there yet. We're done meeting them. We come out, go around, and then meet Cinderella and Elena of Avalor.
Yeah.
She talked about some character, and we're like, we needed Claire and Samantha here to help us with that one, but I don't know anything about that show, I'll admit it. But yeah, we met princesses, and then we walked down Main Street against the crowd like salmon trying to spawn, and we met Mickey with, it said a half hour, but it was like 10 minutes maybe.
So Disney's still inflating those wait times too.
Definitely with Mickey. And that's one you can't get a lightning lane for. You can't do that yet. They need to, but
also that doesn't make sense why you can't. Yeah, that's easy money.
I expect that to come. They're probably just trying to figure out their operations. They've only been open for a week.
Yeah.
So they'll get that figured out, get that added to the app at some point, I believe. But yeah, we met the characters all by like 9:15.
Yeah.
And then we went and you did Thunder, and we did not do Splash because it's cold.
Going back to the characters.
Back to the characters.
So you still leave your face mask on inside. It's socially distanced. You can do a selfie, or you can have like a parent take pictures of the kids, the cast members. At the princesses didn't take pictures, but the cast member at Mickey took pictures. So it might be personal preference.
The person take. I still make it awkward.
Yeah, you do. I saw the picture.
Yeah.
But yay, characters are coming back. That's awesome.
Yeah, it seemed very normal, just not without the hug or the autograph.
Oh,
I'm good.
Get rid of autographs. Bring back hugs. I'm down. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be fine if autograph books never come back. They should do, some of the characters, they hand out the card afterwards. Just do that with all the characters.
There you go. I do want to get back to early entry because one thing different is all 4 parks now, not just the one, not just the one you're targeting.
Which is great because it doesn't draw a crowd to it. Because before we would say avoid extra magic hours, right? Yep. Like it seems counterintuitive to pass on one of the big on-property perks, but it drew such a crowd to that park. Now that it's all the parks, it's more evenly dispersed
a little bit. And is everyone about 30 minutes? What have we seen?
Every day. So if you're off-property, you are starting behind just every day. You can't rope drop that e-ticket successfully ever. So you're going to have to be more likely to buck up the money to buy all of the individual attractions, which if you're buying all of them, that's...
For off-property people?
Yeah.
But they don't even start till the park opens for that part.
Yeah, and so if you are buying it, then the time is pushed out too. Because as things get bought up or booked with Lightning Lane, further and further out. So that's another disadvantage for off-property.
Yeah.
So especially when it comes to those big e-tickets, which, I mean, that's why we're here. The e-tickets, right? Nobody comes to Disney for the
Carousel.
Genie thought I did, but
there are some things at park at the early entry that are not open, just like early or extra magic hours used to be too. So just keep that in mind. So like I said, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland opened, but
not the characters in Fantasyland.
No.
But they never were with extra magic hours either.
No. But like Frontierland and Adventureland, they do not open with that. And so that's actually where the off-property guests are lining up. That's where I would line up if I was an off-property guest, because you get first dibs over there then.
Yeah. There's a lot of advantages to it. Any other questions, Derek?
Those are kind of my big ones. Sounds like you've convinced me that I will get it. I was just going to do it for one day. I'm going to do it for 2 for sure. Hollywood Studios Day as well.
Are you that afternoon or anything? You're going to swim. I know that.
Yeah, that we are going to hop. I just don't know where yet on that
once
day.
You know where, you when you're done at the one park, you set your next Lightning Lane up. And it's nice knowing you're going to walk into a park in the evening and have something that you can just go do, low stress, tap in. Also, let me just say how nice it is to finally be like tapping into an attraction again. I kind of missed that. There's like a dopamine release or something going on when you hear that little noise and you're walking into an attraction in a fast pass lane, which is now a Lightning Lane.
Magic bands are also very valuable again.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
They got away from it.
We had to wait on people to dig out their,
oh my gosh,
their tickets from their purse.
Or they're using the app as their ticket medium.
And they have to open it and get it.
And
to
it's got to be
spot.
open in the right spot. And then they got to hold their phone right. And it's just get a Magic Band, people. Just get a Magic Band.
Even though they cost money. More money.
Right.
You know, but hey, it's an accessory.
I know. I think this is the trip where we finally get our kids custom Magic Band. Well, the 2 older ones. I don't trust that little one. But yeah, let them get their nice ones. They got annual passes now. So
you say custom, are you just letting them pick out a Magic Band out of the whole selection, or like customizing with their name?
No, pick out one with the selection. That's within reason.
The name thing, when we did that for our kids, like a year later, they're like, to having the name on it. So
they want cool characters. Yeah, I got my custom ones. My wife does. So it's time that we be good parents. I mean, we bought them annual passes. Might as well buy them Magic Bands to go with it. So overall, you guys sound like you're having a great time, and you feel like it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah, like I said, it's basically, just think of it, you have to buy your Fast Pass now. And if you don't buy Fast Pass, almost everyone else is, and you're behind them. No, not everybody. Fast Pass Plus was still used more widely than this is now, but it's also new. Not everybody even knows it's an option.
It's hard to even see, like when you open up the app, it's hard to say how many people actually know about it if they didn't book with the travel agent.
But it is definitely being used. I kind of thought, there's barely going to be anybody using this. It's so new and kind of convoluted and confusing. I've been surprised at how many people are going in. And I think I've texted you that type of thing. Like, people are using it. I did not expect that. Like, especially like Rise and Mine Train, the Flight of Passage, the ones where you're paying even more, been used. So it's definitely changed probably what we'll do when we come with our kids. I think we were thinking more like, maybe, maybe not. Now we're more like, well, we better budget for this.
Just put it on the tab.
I was talking with Kent, and he was like, I had just no food today. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, kids don't need it.
Food or Lightning Lane. Come on, guys. We got $15 for Rise or $15 at quick service. Now,
Samantha would pick Rise. Alden would pick food. I tell you that for sure.
Yeah. So
he's a teenage boy, though.
All right. Go on.
One thing when you're in in the tip board that we were talking about earlier, it's going to tell you if you have one booked. So like we have a Jungle Cruise tonight. It's going to say standby line, like Doug was saying, and then it's going to say Lightning Lane, Genie plus Lightning Lane. Okay. It's going to give you the next available time. So the next available time we could get is 7:15. But we don't have that time booked. So then in that same box, it says booked with the check mark, not us. That's not our time. So never in the tip board is it actually going to tell you the times that you physically have. You're going to have to go to the My Day tab, which is right there. And that's where you're going to find the ones that you actually have booked, along with Genie's subtle suggestions that you're going to ignore.
They still want us to do the carousel. They're like after us to go on that carousel.
Yeah, but that's important because that really confused Doug.
Yes.
Also, if you have a dining reservation, it will overlap with your Lightning Lanes can overlap with that. And you really don't want that because so we have a fireworks dessert party tonight. Genie's just ignoring that. Like, it doesn't even, it just suggests a different dinner for us.
Here it says,
that's weird.
We have our check-in for the dessert party at 6:30, and then it's the next recommendation is Swiss Family Robinson at 6:55.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what? Let's pass on the expensive desserts and go do Swiss Family Robinson.
And then one other thing to say, if you go back to that hamburger thing or the 3 lines, if you click on the future plans when you're in the My Disney Experience app, really quickly, it's going to show you on the day right now, like today, November 7th, it's going to tell you really quickly what you already have booked, almost like an old FastPass screen.
Exactly like the old FastPass screen. But then it
disappears really, really quick. So if you can catch that really quick and get a screenshot of it, then you can kind of see what you have already lined out. Otherwise, there's really no way to see that anymore for the actual day that you're in. Now, if you're going on a future date, like we're going at Thanksgiving, those plans are still in there along with the dinners and the things that we have booked. So the app is just completely different.
I have one other perk of Genie Plus that we have not mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
The filters or the Disney PhotoPass lenses. They're kind of cool. It's something they didn't have to give us, but they did. But you only get them when you purchase the Genie Plus. I believe you get them for a week. After you go home, even, you can play with them at home. There are some that are geotagged where they only work in certain spots. But if anybody's following us on Twitter and saw the frightening picture of me as Genie, that is a thing.
I was confused at first.
That's what that is.
We also did a lady in the
Yeah,
Trap.
where you're both eating noodles.
Yeah, we'll have to share that one too.
There we go.
So
It's a lot of weird, but
more stuff to learn, I'm sure. And like I said, definitely a learning curve. So, if you get it on the first day and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can figure this out, definitely get it on the next day because you're going to know more about it the next day.
The second day is going to be even better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys need to get back to the park, and I actually need to edit this show because I'm leaving I'll be there when this show comes out. So excited just to be there and try it out as well. But Michelle, why don't you take a minute and tell people how they can book, how they can get everything, and do what you can do for them.
Sure. I would love to help. So my email is michelle@touringplans.com, and I am Rope Drop Queen on all the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So, you can contact me there.
And how far out are you booking right now?
All the way for Disney World, all the way through the end of 2022.
There you go. Good time to take a vacation. Definitely glad we are going, and it'll be really good to try all these things out. If you have any questions, please let us know. Send us a message at Rope Drop Radio on all the things. We'll let Michelle answer them because we know how good Doug and I are answering some of these technical questions, especially with Lightning Lane and Genie and all the touring stuff. But thank you guys for taking moments out of your day to record. And sorry, I'm just going to miss you guys, but have fun and let me know what you do for the rest of the day.
We will. Safe travels, Derek.
Thank you. All right, guys. And if you want to help support the show, you're going to have to visit our Patreon link. It is in the show notes as well as with Michelle's email. Follow us all the things at Rope Drop Radio and leave a review. We did not get to that today because it's weird. Doug's there. But please leave a review so we can read it on air coming up in the next few trips. But for Michelle and Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.